Michael Smerconish is a CNN host. He has roughly 6 fans, and he asked his radio audience to comment on the Trump-Rüssía story, and what followed is pretty funny. So let's watch, and then we'll discuss.
I began this year by pledging right here on CNN that I wanted to escape my bubble more often. The election results, they took me by surprise, and I was feeling disconnected. Well, this week, I got more than I bargained for from my own SiriusXM radio audience. There had just been a succession of significant stories published in the New York Times about a June 9, 2016 meeting in Trump Tower that we now know was attended by Donald Trump Jr., Jared Kushner, and Paul Manafort, among others. As I've updated my radio audience on those developments, I've been careful to balance my coverage with perspective from the right. On Monday, after my news summary, the phone lines quickly filled. And first up was a caller who told me that I should be ashamed of myself because I had spent time on the latest bombshell from the New York Times, notwithstanding balanced it with a view from the New York Post. The first caller was Brad. He was from Iowa.
I thought you were better than this. Keep kicking that dead dog, Michael. Maybe it'll wake up.
Do you find it significant that the president's son took a meeting with a Russian national involved Manafort and Kushner, where the promise was, we are bringing you dirt on Hillary? Significant or not?
Big deal. No, not at all. Who cares about dirt on that old haggis of Hillary?
That's not typical. My callers tend to come from the lower 48 and usually represent a nice cross-section of the country, both racially and politically. But to my surprise, the next caller from Vermont basically agreed with Brad. Many on hold wanted to castigate the president and his son. But instead of taking their calls, I did something I'd never done in 27 years of radio hosting. I cleared the call board, and I requested only callers who agreed with the first two. And the results were eye and ear opening. I discovered a huge number of others also maintaining it was the proverbial nothing burger. Take a listen.
CNN, New York Post, New York Times, these guys, they have 0 ounce of credibility. I say zero, negative zero. I mean, they're just horrible.
Some of the media outlets get so in the weeds with some of these stories that it just disinterests me after a little while. So even if it's true, that's fine. It eventually didn't affect my vote at the ballot box.
It is an important, worthy story, but give it the time it needs and then move on.
So at this point, it just seems like a witch hunt after President Trump.
The only thing I'm angry about Trump is he hasn't arrested that witch yet. She should be in cuffs. And you're an establishment. Well, that's all you are. You're a piece of
That last part, by the way, directed at me. I'm the establishment. Well, you heard it. So if you think the Donald Trump Jr. story is the one that changes Trump supporter minds, you might want to think again. My experience reminded me of candidate Donald Trump saying that he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and not lose his base.
No. That's cheap, what he just did there. Because, Michael, it's not just Trump supporters who say, get the fuck off it already on this story. It's me. Nobody can accuse me of being pro-Trump. If you go through the Secular Talk library and stories we've done of Trump, it's probably 95%, 98% just ripping him a new asshole on a daily basis on virtually every single issue. So you can't just, they never change their mind. So unreasonable, these assholes. It's not all Trump voters that are like, okay, let's move on past this one. Let's move on past this one. Let's get to other stuff. So he's like, what's funny is he starts the segment by saying, I want to make an effort to get out of my bubble and see what real people in America are thinking after the election results surprise me. Then by the end of the segment, he's like, look how disconnected and stupid these people are. Wait, but that was the original problem is you said you were in your bubble and you only listened to people who agreed with you. And that's one of the things that led to Trump winning is that there were people in their bubble who, Hillary's going to win. Obviously, I don't even see how it's going to be close or whatever. And then by the end of the segment, you go right back to that same mindset which gave us Trump. The mindset of like, well, just dismiss them. See, if Trump shot somebody on the street, he would still get away with it because his followers are that stupid and overly loyal idiots. I mean, look at them. They're like dogs, just following their master. That's what this is. What happened? I thought you were going to try to open up your mind and nope. And smear them all, by the way. They're all obviously Trump supporters who say, get off it with this story. That's not true. It's not even close to true. So my question for people who really are going down that rabbit hole on Trump-Russia is this. I have many questions. The first one is, do you think Don Jr. is going to go to prison? Do you think anybody in the Trump circle is going to go to prison? Now, my guess is even if you are really in the weeds in this story, you're going to go, well, nah, I don't think so. Maybe there's a small chance, but I doubt it. So, okay, and by the way, I agree. I don't think anybody's going to go to prison. Well, then comes the next question. Is there going to be impeachment over this? Now, this one you might get more 50-50 answers from people. Some might say yes, some might say no. So, I don't think you can successfully impeach over this. But let's put that aside and say, yes, you can get impeachment over this. Okay. Well, then if you impeach, Donald Trump is gone and you get Mike Pence. So then what? You're in just as bad of a situation, if not a worse situation. Okay. So is everybody with me so far? In other words, to this point, what I'm trying to establish is, what's your end game? Do you have an end game? Or are you just, you just want to talk about this for the sake of talking about it? Because usually in politics, if you really care about policy, that's why you focus on the policy, and the end game is to get those policies implemented or get the numbers for your team, your party, to then get your policies implemented. There's no policy implications. It's just, let's talk about this issue that's a hot button issue, and then what? What's your end game? Is your end game impeachment? Because if it is impeachment, or if it's Don Jr. going to jail or anybody in Trump's circle going to jail, I don't think that's going to happen. If it's impeachment, I don't think that's going to happen. But even if it does happen, you get Pence. And then under Pence, you have just as bad, if not worse, in terms of who's running the country. And then you get to the next question, which is, what exactly are you mad about if you're down the Trump-Russia rabbit hole? And I'm not asking that in like a pithy, rhetorical way. Like, I'm genuinely curious what people's answer to this is, because I haven't heard anything that I go, oh, I agree with you and I'm mad about that. So the number one answer I get when I ask this question is very simply, look, you cannot get dirt on your opponent from a foreign power, because that's the collusion thing that we're mad about. Collusion, traitor, or treasonous, or whatever the fuck they say. Now, the treasonous charge we're going to dismiss up front, because treason means you are working together with a country that we're at war with to undermine our government. That indeed is not the case. We're not at war with Russia, and Hillary indeed is not the representative of our government. She was a candidate wanting to be president. So, the treason charge automatically dismissed is it's not anywhere near true. Okay, but if the claim is you cannot get dirt on your opponent from a foreign power, you have to understand it is just a matter of record that Hillary and her campaign in the DNC did the same thing. So if you're being objective and you want people to start going to jail or there to be, lawsuits filed and stuff like that, well, then you have to, if you really believe in the standard that you just set up, which is you cannot get dirt on your opponent from a foreign government, then you would want cases against not only the Trump camp, but the Hillary camp. Now, again, in the Hillary instance, it was with Ukraine. So they worked with the Ukrainian government to try to get dirt on Trump because Ukraine wanted Hillary, because Hillary would be more, her campaign rhetoric was much more hawkish against Russia. And Ukraine obviously wants NATO's backing in making sure Russia doesn't take more of their land like they took Crimea. So Ukraine tried to dig up dirt on Trump and then give it to the Hillary campaign. Now, by the same token, you remember the so-called PP tape, the PP dossier? That was the Hillary campaign hiring a firm, a research firm, an opposition research firm. They had a British spy get that information on the PP dossier from Russians. So again, according to your own standard, if you really, you can't work with a with a foreign power to get dirt on your opponent. Well, okay, we know Trump and his campaign did it because of the meeting with the Russian lawyer. We know Don Jr. did it. We know Manafort was in there. We know Kushner was in there. So yes, they did try to work together with a foreign power, or at the very least somebody connected to a foreign power, to get dirt on their opponent, Hillary. They did it. Guilty. But Hillary's guilty of it as well with Ukraine. The DNC and the Hillary camp are guilty of it, using the British spy to get the PP information from Russia. So, again, my point is, if you're going to be objective, you have to say, okay, I guess I want cases against both campaigns. But usually the people who are involved in this frenzy will say, I want it on Trump, but then they're like, okay, why are you bringing up the but Hillary point? It's not a but Hillary point. The point is, I asked you what exactly you're mad about. Your answer is you can't collude with a foreign power to get dirt on your opponent. And then I said Hillary does that too, and then you said, whatever. There's no whatever. Is that what you're mad about or not? If you're mad about it, you got to say I want cases on both campaigns. So that brings me to my next point, which is I'm of the belief you shouldn't bring charges against both of them. I honestly don't care. I don't care where they tried to get information from. You want to know why? It's fucking information. It is information. Chelsea Manning gave us information on how the U.S. military is murdering civilians. Edward Snowden gave us information on how the NSA is spying on everybody. Now, they're viewed as pariahs because that's illegal information, but we should have known it anyway. We should have known it. Now, we don't know if they actually got information that they were able to use from the Russian sources, the Trump campaign. But, like, take, for example, the issue of the DNC emails that were allegedly given by Russia to WikiLeaks. That's something I look at and I say, I'm happy we learned the information. We need to know that. For you to get mad, you're killing the messenger, as opposed to getting mad at the actions we actually learned had taken place as a result of the leaks. Whether it's Hillary's speeches saying, hey, there's bigotry against the rich and oppression against the rich. We should have totally free and open trade borders. As a politician, we should have public positions and private positions. They pressured the media to give them better coverage. They tried to hide the debate so that they would suppress Bernie Sanders. All that stuff. You should say, oh, okay, well, we got that information. These are leaks that the American people should know, so you don't get mad at the leaker. You get happy that you got that information, because in a democracy, we should know if there's cheating going on behind the scenes. That crazy idea. So that's the next point, which is, I don't know why people would really hate the idea that we're getting more information and dirt on various opponents. I want to know what's going on with Hillary. As long as it's not stupid private life shit, that I don't think the public really has a right to know. And as long as it's not their fucking bank account information, if it's stuff we should know about them because they want to be the leader, yeah, I want to know dirt on Hillary. I want to know dirt on Trump. I want to know dirt on all the different, politicians. So I think I'm pretty consistent on that. I like more information on these people is a good thing. They're not the Democrats. As a result of this story, it's undeniable. Now you're not focusing on issues that change people's lives, which hurts your election chances. Because every minute you're not talking about Medicare for all, every minute you're not talking about free college, every minute you're not talking about a living wage, every minute you're not talking about ending the wars, every minute you're not talking about ending the drug war, every minute you're not talking about doing a new deal. Every minute that's not spent on real issues is a wasted minute. Because now people don't view the Democrats as a party that's trying to help them, in their lives. They view you as simply an anti-Trump party. You're against Trump. Got it. That's it. But you need to tell them what you're for, not just what you're against. Not Russia, something, collusion, treason, yada, yada. You have to say, here's what we're for, and this is what we're going to fight for. But people don't think you don't care about the issues because you're not focusing on the fucking issues. You cannot deny the hawkish overtones in how the Democrats are covering this story and talking about this story. Paul Begala said we should be debating bombing Russia. Rachel Maddow said now if Trump removes NATO troops from Russia's border, that proves Putin has dirt on Trump. So now you have the Democrats just flat out calling for being the more hawkish party in regards to another nuclear-armed power. Now, I'm not saying everybody who believes the Trump-Russia stuff is on board with that. But you have to understand that this is the climate that's being created when you act like a hostile foreign power has hacked our democracy and is installing leaders and they've declared war on us. When you talk about it in that respect, which I think is massively misleading and incorrect, yeah, the logical conclusion from a lot of people is going to say, well, break out the fucking guns and let's escalate this bitch. So it's hawkish, which is the opposite of what the Democrats are supposed to stand for. And then the last point is, you've also just worn out. It's fatigue, man. There are CNN hosts, I think Allison Camerota, they believe every word of the Trump-Russia story, but even they are like, I have Russia fatigue. I can't talk about it anymore because it's all we fucking spoken about. So even if you believe every word of it, there's a reason to say, you know what, pump our brakes a little bit because we're losing everybody, even people who fucking agree with us. So, God, man. It's just they're so invested in this, and I don't see an end game. And that's a bad place to be in, because I think now there's this false sense of security among certain circles of like, well, that's it, we got it. Like, we got it. This is the story. This is the one we hammer away on, and then something, Democrats win everything. What? No, you need, like, hard work and a coherent message about helping people, and that's nowhere to be found.